All right, man. We're back with the live DG Sax. We got Mr. Peter Hostrauser disrupting education 24/7, 365 days.
Let's go.
Man, dude, I love it. I love it, man. I know you just got off of spring break and stuff not too long ago.
hmm
Man, how are things going for you, man? Let's check in, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's good. Again, it's the run in.
Yeah,
Ideal, like I said before in the previous live, a lot of seniors, keeping them like out of that senioritis laziness in that
yeah,
transition. Like keep
right,
that transition on your mind, keep that vision out there.
for sure.
Let's build some portfolios. Let's go, man. Like let's
Yeah,
things are closer than you think. You can be
yeah.
scared, but let's go. So that's where school is right now. It's motoring.
No, I love it, man. I love that senioritis. I can relate. I was in high school at some point. It seems like it's been forever now,
Yep.
but I will say keeping that tight niche, of a group and making sure people are fully connected is so key. Even in the workspace, right?
hmm
Me being in the tech space right now, just started working with a new organization. It's called First Up, and that's a key component to our culture. Is we're a very tight knit group. We communicate with each other every day, even if it's just going to lunch, sharing ideas, getting on mock calls, just having that full engagement is so key to just keeping your process fluid and
hmm
not getting too high or too low. Right. And making sure your energy is at a good place.
Yeah.
With all that being said, part of that is being able to engage well, right, with the lessons and things of that nature. One of the things that we're focusing on is LinkedIn and
hmm
being able to engage effectively on LinkedIn. I know you have a great network of people that you've been able to collaborate, work with. You've put out a lot of different posts to, ask, a lot of good open-ended questions for people to comment on, like, share, right? And I'm
hmm
curious to know, like, how have you been able to effectively engage on LinkedIn with professionals
Yeah.
worldwide?
That's a great question. A lot of tags, man, I can't even think about like how far back I was building the network on there. I think
Yeah.
it started with actually the podcast of Disrupt Education, and then just starting to reach out. Like people would say, "Hey, you need to connect with this person," and then you connect, and then you build that way. But there's also like once you start looking at different people in different areas, my areas are mostly like education to academia and reality, or into
Right.
their business.
Right.
And how do you connect community with schools, etc. And as I started looking into that, a lot of people would pop up, like Nate Clayberg and Corey Moan from like Caps Network. Man, there's just so many. I can like Mike Yates
Yeah.
in Texas, a couple of other people out there who are connected worldwide as well with project-based learning, etc. And you just start to look into those people, read a little bit about their bio, and you just connect and you say, hey, I think we got a great interest here. With a platform like Disrupt Education, I'm able to just interview them. And a lot of people,
Hmm.
again, think that Disrupt Education is all about, trying to make money or gain a lot of followers or listeners, which, yeah, sure, I like a lot of listeners. However, it has been an amazing learning journey for myself, and more
Hmm.
importantly, for students in the classes that I have. I'm privileged enough to share with, because I can share like questions right out to them and say, okay, well, you guys want to ask this question? Boom, we put it out there. I see a lot of people with the incubator program. Shout out to Margarita, who does that with Uncharted Learning. I see a lot of incubator teachers doing the same thing. They're like, my kid's got an MVP, or this group's got a minimal viable
Yeah.
product. We got some questions, and they send out surveys on LinkedIn, and you just start to build. And man, I don't even know how many people I got out there. There's so many people. I know I just tagged
Yeah.
a few, but like there'll be a lot. There's so many, and it just like kids get tired of listening to me, and
Mm.
doing the things that I'm challenging them to do. So when you can get somebody on a video or on a response to talk about something in a different area of the world or a different area of business, it's so key. So that's how I use LinkedIn, man. It's surveys, it's talking to people, it's commenting on other people's stuff. Yeah, you know what? There's a lot. I mean, and the best thing about LinkedIn is this, like for me, I get to practice watching what people are doing. And sometimes, Derek, I don't really agree with everything that people are doing or what they're saying,
Right.
but
Right.
it's a great professional place to have that conversation. It's not
Yes.
like, I'm going to go on X or somewhere else and just start saying, you're wrong, I'm right. It's like, well, oh, that's interesting. I don't think I quite understand. Maybe I don't quite get it. There are a lot of people out there, still on LinkedIn, unfortunately, are just, I'm right and you're wrong. Whatever. You just clear the noise, man. You work with people who are there to work with you. And that's how you build a great network on LinkedIn.
Man, that's wow. That's great. I love that you talked about just the idea of really being able to create a dialogue with new people. And from what it seems, like if someone sees your posts, I assume that people know like, oh, this is the guy who's disrupting education, right?
I hope so.
I'm curious to know, like, was there anything in your mind that said like, okay, this is what I need to do in order for people to know, like, this is what I do, right? Like
Yeah.
as my identity. I guess how did you begin to create your identity as you were engaging
Mhm.
on LinkedIn? Was it just like, hey, let me just start a conversation, or
Mhm.
how did that go? I'm just curious.
Well, yeah, two things. Starting conversations like messaging and talking to people, and they'll tell you back,
Yeah,
a lot of different things. So you had to kind of adjust your persona a little bit because you're like, wait, am I putting this out there? That's not really what I want.
right,
Early on, like I said, a lot of people, I mean, I wasn't anti-college, but I was very like skeptical of everybody going to college early on. I'm talking about like 2014,
right.
2013. And so
Yes.
people would be
Yeah.
like, I know you hate college. And I'm like, okay, where am I putting that out? Because that's the wrong message. It's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm just saying, you have to check some different boxes instead of just jumping into a 4 year right now.
Right.
So just kind of having those conversations, and also, a colleague of both of ours really, really just challenged me to do something great with it, and that's Audrey Boyle.
Yeah.
Had me rewrite everything, and take a look at your about. So when you're putting this out there, you
Hmm.
really have to kind of think about your about. And I do it every 6 months. This is probably reminding me I got to go back in and take a look at it again,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it means so much. Because when people like look at you, and see what it is, my tagline used to be like connecting academia and reality, which it is, but
Yeah.
what does that mean? It was a little ambiguous. So I'm like business coach, I'm a curriculum writer, all
Yeah.
these different things. Yet I can still connect academia and community together. So yeah, Audrey Boyle did a hell of a job of just challenging me, putting that out there. And yeah, that's the other way where you learn what people are saying about you and or
Yeah.
seeing when they're asking you questions.
Right, right, absolutely. Seeing how people are perceiving you based on the content you're putting out, being able to make those adjustments. And, I feel like the only way you're going to continue to make those adjustments is by continuing to engage, see how people respond, see what that result is, and trial and error. I mean, that's
Mhm.
really what it sounds like. And it sounds like also, too, just being able to hyper personalize, being able to really create it to who you are.
Right.
And then going back 6 months
Mhm.
later to see if that's something that's still in
Yeah.
line with who you are. Because as we know, we're constantly growing.
Mhm.
Things change, in
Yeah.
a matter of months, believe it or
Yeah.
not. I mean, that's how fast paced I know we are. So
I do have like one last thing, and I think it's very
yeah,
important. One thing that I've learned in social media, we want to be heard, we want to be
sure.
seen, right? That's kind of the hey, how many likes, how many people, blah blah blah. Well,
Right.
once I changed my mindset away from that in LinkedIn and really am trying to learn as much as I can about people, that's when your LinkedIn life is going to change. A lot of
Mm,
people will talk about, yeah, okay, you see that person got 600 comments or blah, 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 and all this. And it's okay. It's great to be a leader, a thought leader. But once I changed and started trying to learn from others across the world in the education space that I'm in, that's when the network blew up. That's when all these other numbers that are data wise that a lot of people chase start happening. So if you're authentically going in to learn on LinkedIn, it's going to pay itself back in so many ways.
The return on investment will be there, ladies and gentlemen. Just,
Yep.
you got to know, you want to learn, you want to disrupt. This is the man that you want to talk to. DisruptEducation.co for those who don't know. He's on YouTube. He's on Spotify. You name it. He's on all platforms, Instagram, you name it. DG Sax, DGSax.com, performing at all different events at your needs, whether it's private, whether it's corporate, you name it. I'm there. Still got some openings for 2024. 2025 is getting booked, but if you're looking for entertainment, I'm your guy. Love all genres of music. But until next time, we appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure you all continue to like, comment, and share the live. But until next time, appreciate your time.